and sweet today. We haven't talked about John very much. If I'm being honest, I'm a little bored of John
Mm.
post DabbleCon. He came back with nothing. Like, he had this bit. He retired for the 11th time this summer,
Yep.
and then he comes back and he does his like political show, and it's really boring. And this is a guy who yells and screams about revenge all day. So then he does his Dabbleverse show where he's going to address Shuli. This controversy. He's going to call Shuli a pedophile. That's what his big return is all about. And there was just nothing. I thought it was tremendously boring. There were a couple things I found interesting that we'll play. But I am bored of John right now. Now, I'm not going to speak in extremes because that's made me look foolish before. I'm going to say we'll never talk about him again. But I'm sure something will pop up eventually. But I am a little bored of John. But there are a couple things that piqued my interest this week, particularly involving our friend Cardiff Electric, who, if you don't know, go find Cardiff's Patreon. I actually don't know what it is, but Google. You know what? Go to Real Media Player, and I'm sure he'll tell you. Go see if you can find Cardiff's Patreon.
I believe
Electric, put that in the chat.
Cardiff Electric, but let me see here.
It's got to be. No one else could have that, right?
No. Yeah, no, it's just Cardiff Electric.
Yeah, okay. Patreon.com/Cardiff Electric. Oh, I did know that. I can picture him saying it. Cardiff lost his YouTube channel. Are you aware of this?
I heard. I did
I don't understand it. But John throws his hat in the ring for people that took down Cardiff Electric. That's YouTube that does that. They played John's movie. I guess they showed nudity. That's a YouTube thing. Now, John does this weird thing where he's going to try to both take credit for it and receive no blame, which is very interesting. So let's hear a little from John. What do we have first from?
It's the Zuma clip or the other one?
Let's play the other one first, and then we'll get to Cardiff after that.
Sergeant Harry
dyed his hair horribly, by the way.
PD internal affair. The boys and I over here at IA are going to need to discuss with you the pictures of Shuli's minor children on your PC, muttering J's also. Yeah, you do that. I don't have any pictures on my PC of shitways kids.
Now, can you imagine, Craig, there have been a lot of jokes hurled your way.
Jokes, yes.
And I frankly, I saw a lot of comments calling you a pedophile when we talked about Shuli. I don't know why that is. I don't know who inspired them to do that. I certainly will take no responsibility.
Honestly, it was probably my fault.
Well, in many ways, yes, it was. But you've received a lot of these, and I'll give you a rare round of applause for taking it all in stride. Listen to how John is responding to this. Someone is clearly joking and says, I hear you have nude photos of children on your computer. And John goes, no, I don't. No, I don't might be the most insane reaction to that comment.
Might as well say I'm guilty.
Right. Why would you respond that way? Like, John, you've supposedly been in comedy. You're a man who wrote for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast, for God's sake.
He's
You don't just write for the Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championship and not have a comedic muscle. It's so shocking to me that John. Let's hear this again. Listen to John read this comment and answer it seriously.
Seats hypocrisy PD internal affair. The boys and I over here at IA are going to need to discuss with you the pictures of Shuli's minor children.
Okay, pause right there. The boys here in internal affairs. Now I've got my comedic microscope out. I detect a joke here.
Maybe.
I don't think this man works in internal affairs.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike. The picture of this commenter is Farva from Super Troopers. So does that change your mind?
Oh, well, he was in law enforcement.
Yeah.
So then maybe it's real.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Farva was involved in this. Well, then I would take this very seriously, John. I hope you answer literally.
You want cream?
Also, yeah, you do that.
This guy's accusing me of ordering a large farva, and I have never.
I've never enjoyed a liter of cola.
No, I will not say shenanigans. Penis wrinkle.
A PC of Shitways kids. Someone text me a picture of his kid on my phone, but I don't have it. I deleted it, but it wasn't a naked picture. Don't try and pivot.
Whoa, John.
This is such a bizarre answer.
John, who inserted naked into this?
Just him.
Also, I don't think, like, if someone texts you a picture of nude children and you go, delete!
You just delete it and then start whistling and walking away.
I don't know how that works. I don't know all the ground rules of child pornography. Craig will fill us in later.
I don't either.
But yeah, I deleted it. So, Your Honor. But hold on. We are going to hear, by the way. Well, I do think Farva in Internal Affairs is, having a little. He's taking a piss, as the British say.
Yeah.
He's having a little fun with John. We will hear in a minute where John brags about having pictures of Shuli's children. That's what makes this even more wild.
So it's true.
Yeah, so it's all true. John will be in prison for. Hey, guys, new prediction, if you want to put this out there. By November 9th, John will be in prison for child pornography.
Shit. Come on, do it again, and I'll keep a straight face.
Okay, all right. I've been hearing, and we're gonna get this news early November. I'm gonna put November 9th on it. It's gonna be early to mid-November. I've been hearing that Stuttering John Melendez will be arrested for child pornography. That you can take that to the bank. It's a fact, Jack. This stuff with Shuli, the pictures he's been getting of Shuli's kids goes way deeper than he has confessed to. So keep an eye out for that. I've been hearing things. I was right about the house, and I will be right about this. So you can take that to the bank, folks.
Now, I want everyone to clip.
Of course, I'm lying, just so everyone knows. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, put both cuts in that clip you send him.
Yeah, whatever. He'll just react to it.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't think John is going to be arrested for child pornography. I'm lying, but that's what's great about John is he will react to that seriously.
You know what I was thinking actually since the show last week too is if anyone's Googling this ISO story and you type ISO like CP or whatever, ISO typically on the internet means in search of, which is very funny for people's Google searches.
Yes, that's why Craig searched that. Oh, that's why Craig has been posting that on Reddit over and over again. Interesting.
It was a funny thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, just popped into your mind for no reason.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Try and say I'm involved in anything nefarious because I am not.
Yeah, guys, don't try and say, guys, listen here, listen closely. Don't try and say that John is guilty because Shuli's producer was downloading child pornography. I know it seems logical that John is involved, but don't try and say it. Asshole.
Kent Weed, you said you have pics of Shuli's children. That's you. No, I do not. I said somebody text me a picture and said something insulting about his kid. That's it.
Oh.
And that's it.
Well, that's it. I'm sure that's it, as he'll go on to explain.
I'm not saying who because I don't know who it was. It was someone rando who I
just
bought.
random, a totally random number sent you pictures of Shuli's child and made jokes with you. Just a totally random guy.
A random number he doesn't have sends a picture of a kid and he has a conversation with the person.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Normal.
I'm like, oh, I see children in this photo. Who's trolling Shuli?
and deleted deleted the fucking call, not the call, the text.
Deleted the call. Oh, he corrects himself. He deleted the text.
Oh.
Good. Now, when John is investigated for child porn, he doesn't have the text on his phone.
He was
That's good.
FaceTiming the children.
John, why are you deleting evidence for something you didn't do?
About me. This is what you guys try and do. I'm not the pedo here. Go through my computer. I dare you. Go ahead.
Computer. Did you catch that? I don't know why that made me laugh.
Well, he can't speak.
That's my computer.
This is what Opie and Anthony would do with Bobo.
Right.
Like, this is when John says he was, third mic on the Howard Stern show or whatever he claims. Like, John is much closer to a whack packer than he wants to realize, because this is what you would do with people who are mentally unwell on the radio in the 90s and early 2000s, where you would say, hey, John, I hear you were at fault for the death of Princess Diana. And John would go, no, I was not. That happened in England. I live in America. I've never even been to England.
I would never.
John, I heard actually you murdered Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. That's ridiculous. I don't even know those people. What incentive would I have to murder them?
I heard he parachuted.
Yeah,
I heard he parachuted out of Flight 93 before crash too.
Yeah, what's the latest scandal? Give me something recent that happened that's in the news. You can just blame John for it.
The Afghanistan withdrawal.
That was John. And this one's not a joke. That was actually John. John said, make sure you leave all the tanks and shit there. And they did it. They were just following his orders.
The reason it wasn't John, though, for real, for that one, is there was just stacks and stacks of American currency that were left there.
Well, and his OCD wouldn't allow him to leave such a mess.
That's true. Yes. I have to count all the money before I leave Afghanistan.
Yes.
I'm not the pedo here. Go through my computer. I dare you. Go ahead. Go ahead. FBI, take my computer. Go ahead.
FBI.
I have a feeling they would probably find something.
John, the man, he has a picture of Farva from Super Troopers, and he said he was an internal affair. He's not the FBI. Why are you addressing the FBI? I was watching my boy OJ this morning, and he talks about this guy, Tony Chase, I think the name is. Whoever it is. Obnoxious John talks about this guy who sits on the internet all day and rants at the government and accuses the government of stealing his penis. That's what John is. He's a schizophrenic at this point.
Seriously.
Someone in the chat just said something, and John was like, oh, yeah, FBI, take my computer. Why are you dealing with this all so literally, John?
Yeah, the guy right before that said, does this look like spit to you? And then ate his sandwich.
It doesn't look like, that's mayo.
Find anything nefarious. You won't. I don't have Shuli's underage kids, but you can look. Look at them. Give me.
Hold on, I got to see this person's profile picture. Anything funny there? Yeah, it's fucking what's his face from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad he's weighing in on this very seriously.
These underage kids, but you can look. Look at them. Give me a fucking break. All pivot and deflection. Pivot about this stupid picture of his kid. I don't have any pictures of his fucking kids.
Flashback.
Oh, well, let's hear this. This should be interesting.
I was gonna say he also just said he did.
I wasn't expecting this. I didn't realize John may have incriminated himself in the past. I hope there's nothing here that makes him look foolish.
Do not, at any time, start showing pictures of my children that are goofing on them, and then continue to mock my child. This is your last warning. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Consider this your last warning.
Or what?
And I'm serious. I'm as serious as a fucking heart attack right now. I know your kids' names.
Oh boy.
Okay, I have pictures.
Oh boy, damn it.
Do that.
Oh boy.
But I don't want to get that low. That's not me.
Well, we must be playing these in chronological order. Obviously, he got the pictures after.
Right.
After he said all these things.
Right.
Force me. Then I'm going to have to go to the bottom and go as low as you. Okay?
Oh, that would suck if you had to do that.
So dues payer. I know your kids' names. I have pictures.
Oh, good.
Never personal, right? Apparently it is.
Well, I am going to get people to try and fuck your kids. How's that for personal?
Respect.
That's what John's saying, essentially, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what reason would you release pictures of Shuli's kids? Like, what would be the reason?
He does a bunch of shit that I don't understand.
Well, I'm trying to think like John, and I assume the only reason would be that you want to put their image out there, their likeness, so people know what they look like, know their name, and potentially could abduct them.
Or harass them.
Yeah, like that's the only possible reason you could want Shuli's kids' information out there, right? So
yeah,
that's what you're soliciting, John. Now, here's where, and I have this, boy, do I struggle with this. I have an internal debate. I say, Mike, it's got to be an act that John is putting on. But then there are other times where I say, no, I think he just forgets he says this shit. Like, I think he forgot that he threw that out there. But then in John's mind, how do we all know that he has the pictures? How would we know that? If it wasn't for him saying it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on record saying a lot of things. Everything.
Okay. So someone commented, you're on record saying you have pics of Shuli's kids, which we just heard.
That would be a great Trump line, by the way. I say a lot of things. I do a lot of talking.
And do a lot of getting shot.
Well, let me hear that again. What does he say? I've been accused of saying a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm on record saying a lot.
On record.
Everything, some things I say are not true.
They flashed on the screen. It says, that's called lying, dummy.
Your Honor. Your Honor, of course I said I'm guilty. But you have to understand, sometimes I say untruths. I wish there was a word for it. But I say these things that aren't. I just can't. I don't have the proper language, the verbiage that's accurate for this. But sometimes I say something that wasn't. Your Honor, I don't know if there's a word for that or not, but hopefully in the transcripts it all makes sense.
Said I wasn't teaching, and when I was working at the Salvation Army, that wasn't true either. This was when Shitway was attacking my children that I once said that, but I didn't have anything. So fuck off.
It's crazy that he remembers exactly what this guy was talking about from that very vague sentence.
So maybe I'm wrong then when I say John forgets these things. You can't even. Here's the problem. Like, you can't even defend John if you want to.
No.
Like, I look for defenses of John, and then he goes and undercuts me every time. So it's just a waste of time. But here's what really pisses me off. Was at the end of that Shuli clip?
Yeah.
Here's what really bothers me about guys like Kevin Brennan and Stuttering John are probably the worst offenders of this, is wanting to get people's channels taken down. Essentially rooting for the crazy way that YouTube behaves sometimes. Like, there are inexplicable things. Sometimes you can curse and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can make certain jokes and other times you can't. Like, I said something earlier that when I said it, I thought this video will probably get demonetized by YouTube.
I think even possibly the Daylord's comment might get misheard.
Right. But we don't know that. It also might, here's the thing, is it might not. So YouTube acts in this willy-nilly fashion.
Well, to be fair, too, we're 30 minutes in roughly, and there's just been a heaping pile of pedophile jokes. So I imagine this one won't be.
I can't imagine. This guy's super chat away. We're trying to hit the goal today.
That's right. They are super chatting.
Good.
Super chatting
But we are trying to hit the goal because we need to bail Aaron out of jail.
yeah.
So make sure you fire away in that goal. Aaron can't make money, so we're doing it for him.
That's right.
But like YouTube behaves in kind of an irrational way. I don't even necessarily blame them. They're figuring it out. Like there are so many YouTube channels and so many videos going up every day that the idea that it's going to be a human being monitoring all of them is ridiculous. I understand that.
Yeah.
So like YouTube's figuring it out. And I don't think it'll be anytime soon where it's perfect. The problem is when content creators like John and Kevin root for people's channels to get taken down because they're the competition, that makes it much worse for creators and they don't see the harm they're doing to their own channel. So this is John talking about Cardiff Electric, who, as we mentioned, Cardiff watched the Oscar-nominated film One Too Many, which we have watched before.
Yep.
A very fine work of homophobia is really what it amounted to, in my recollection. It was just calling people different variations of the F slur for 20 minutes.
I have examples.
Oh, let it fly. Go ahead. What can you hear in One Too Many?
Shut up, you faggot.
Oh, well, that's not. I don't care for that sort of language.
You fucking cocksucker, bone-smoking faggot homo piece of shit.
Which actor in John's movie was that?
He was playing himself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was Stuttering John himself. I'm
yes.
sorry.
Yep.
I didn't realize.
Actually, I don't know if he was playing himself, but
he wasn't. But in a way, he was.
I think in a way he was.
Yeah. So Cardiff Electric watched that movie. YouTube. This is again what I'm talking about. Just completely wild. Like we could have played that and gotten, hey, knock it off. You know,
right?
YouTube decided to nuke his channel's just gone. Cardiff Electric doesn't exist anymore. So we hear Stuttering John not only celebrating that, but taking credit for it, which again, as a content creator, I think is wildly irresponsible.
Oh, definitely. I still think my idea that like all of us should watch that on Patreon or just in hidden somewhere should happen.
Maybe. Let's hear from John.
This is the Chad Zumock clip.
You can tell Craig hasn't watched this clip. He keeps referring to it as the Chad. They talk about Chad for 3 seconds.
Well, he starts the video.
I understand.
I'm saying that.
He's called it. You guys, count how many times he's called it the Chad Zumock clip.
At least 5 times.
All right, let's hear from Chad.
John, you don't want this heat, bitch. You got to.
Oh, I'm so scared, Chadley. What are you gonna do to me? Come to my house? Do it. Just do it. Come on over, Chad. I'm ready for you now. I'm here. Come on, Chad. Let's have a little talk.
A lot of Chad.
He's been training.
I gotta admit, it's a lot of Chad.
It's not the focal point of the clip. We're getting there.
Enough dealing with the Shuli network. You got enough dealing with the potato and everybody else. You don't.
Oh, no, the potato's gone. And I made sure of that.
Oh, and also, John.
Here's what's interesting. I made sure of that. Here's what's interesting. I didn't even realize this. I was watching, again, boy, OJ's getting a lot of shout outs on this show. I was watching my boy OJ this morning, and I didn't even realize this aspect is that the next day, I guess, John went on and was like, I never took credit for Cardiff Electric's channel again. I don't know what you're talking about. So keep that in mind. John says he had nothing to do with Cardiff. He said he didn't even know it happened. Now watch this with a fresh pair of eyes.
Oh, go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like the potato's banned now. Like he can't go on BW's show. He can't go on OJ.
Potato goes on another show. Guess who will be there to report him? Me.
Okay.
Me.
This is where it just gets idiotic. Not only is it irresponsible, but it's moronic. I invited Cardiff on to promote wherever you can find him now. And I don't know if John actually scared Cardiff. This is just not true. John is under the belief that Cardiff can't go on other YouTube shows now. They refer to it as ban evasion.
Oh,
That's not true. He can't start a new channel and monetize it. He can go on a million. You're telling me if Cardiff Electric went on Rogan today, Joe Rogan's YouTube channel would get taken down?
as a matter of fact, yes.
Well, Joe, let's try it. Give Cardiff a call.
That would be the best episode ever.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
But it's ban evasion, and you
I
know
don't
you will
give
get.
a fuck if you agree.
I know,
with
I know,
it.
I know, I know.
Oh, go back a little bit. Watch this poor bastard, Clay Dabbler. I don't know what his motivation is to be friends with John. I assume he'll porn bomb him eventually. That's usually everyone's goal. It's just befriend him and eventually play a woman shitting or something. So I don't know if that's Clay Dabbler's angle, but he is smart in the sense that he knows in order to get on John's good side, you can't disagree with him even a little bit. So go back and hear how Big Pussy John reacts when he gets the slightest amount of pushback. Clay Dabbler is almost barely disagreeing with him. And listen to how the big baby reacts.
Oh, and also,
Yes,
John,
you don't.
Go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you know, like the potato's banned now. Like he can't go on B Dabbler's show. He can't go on OJ.
Potato goes on another show. Guess who will be there to report him? Me.
I'm not saying I agree totally with that, but it's ban evasion, and you know
I
you
don't
will
give
get.
a fuck if you agree.
I know.
Listen to how maniacal he sounds.
he's a psycho.
Like he literally puts on. Yes, he's psychotic. He puts on this act like he's this tiny little man filled with all this rage. And what it is that like John did a great job turning an opportunity as an intern on the Howard Stern show into something bigger. He had a legitimate role there on the Stern show. He parlayed that into the Tonight Show. And then he just wasn't able to do anything. Like he reached his highest potential was being the announcer or writer or whatever the hell he was on the Tonight Show. That was his absolute pinnacle, the highest John could have gone in Hollywood. Unfortunately, that opportunity ended when John was in his late 40s. So now, for the last decade, he's just had nothing to do, and he'll continue to have nothing to do for his remaining days, except for argue on the internet. That's why, try as he might, every time he leaves, he comes crawling back for two reasons. One being that people throw pennies at him to read mean comments, or jokes, as I like to call them. And the other reason is just sheer boredom. Like he's just completely bored. He has no family that talks to him. He has no real friends. He has no job, no real hobbies other than drinking, essentially. So he just does this. He yells on the internet, and he considers his friends to be Clay Dabbler and Rob Saul and Vegas beer sales Jerry and whoever the hell these other people are that are his quote friends.
Don't forget Farva.
It's amazing. Yes, and Farva, of course. It's amazing that John has a list of people that stabbed him in the back. You know, he'll rattle off this list: Benny Loco, lonely loony lady, hockey puck. I know all these names, unfortunately. Who was the first guy? Roy, his producer, whatever the guy's name. Royce, that was it. All these people stabbed John in the back. DG, the Quad Father. And yet John keeps going back to the well. He's the one. The reason I know these names is because John lists them off ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he keeps going back. It would be like if my arch enemies were in the Kirk Minahan Show studio. And every Monday and Wednesday I show up there thinking I'm going to have a good time.
I like everyone's commenting the people's names in our chat right now.
Yeah, exactly. They all know because John tells us over and over again, and yet he keeps showing up. It's like, John, at some point, it's your fault. Admit that you like this. Admit that you have nowhere else to go. Stop acting like there's some fight you're going to win eventually. Like, that's the real sad part is John looks at this as a war that he is winning.
That's crazy.
I mean, first of all, he's certainly not winning if it is a war, but also it's people goofing around on the internet. The guy you're screaming about has a potato filter. And listen to the man that John is so angry about, that we're about to hear him seething. That man, I don't want to blow any secrets. I hope I'm not telling tales out of school. I believe rumors have started that man that John is so angry about, Cardiff Electric, was pretending to be a female potato to avoid ban evasion this morning. Again, rampant speculation on my part, but point being, that's who John is screaming about.
Right.
A guy who was on as the potato Julie this morning.
I get it. I get it. I get it 100%.
You tried to just.
I get it. 100%.
You had to disrupt my child's fucking graduation. I will report that motherfucker if he shows up anywhere. Any fucking where.
He's good. You seem composed, John. That's good that you're making all these decisions and of such sound mind.
Dude,
do you know what he's referring to with the graduation thing?
No, but I know this is a Casey Day Carl trope we've talked about last week. But I feel like
I can't see.
This is necessary. He is making the craziest face I've ever seen in my life during
Here's what's interesting. I'll tell you from a blind guy's perspective. I can hear his face.
Yes. Okay, good.
Where he's going, you don't understand. He's snarling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He's a lunatic who, again, is talking about a man who's masquerading as a female potato, so you don't catch him as the real potato that he is.
He should just be mashed potatoes. No one will be accounting.
It's totally different.
No, I get it. I get it 100%.
You tried to just.
Oh, so that's what I was asking you. You don't know about this graduation thing?
No.
Cardiff, Cardiff is a bit of a wiseacre, yes?
Yes.
Cardiff a few months ago, graduation season, John kept mentioning, again, no one should fuck with John's kids or interfere with his family. Has nothing to do with any of this shit. Like, leave him alone. But John keeps going on the internet and talking about when and where his child's graduation was, and saying that his son is graduating, he's valedictorian, he's going to Harvard, all this great stuff. So John is essentially promoting
where they'll be.
When Rob Saul says, John, what are your dates? He's like, well, my kid is graduating in Los Angeles this weekend. So John's promoting this. Cardiff said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to broadcast from John's kid's graduation. You're laughing. Why are you laughing? As I like to ask.
It's a great popular question. Because he's clearly joking. I don't even have to hear him say it.
Why do you think he's joking?
Because it's kind of just what he does.
You don't think Cardiff was going to broadcast from John's son's high school graduation?
No, I don't.
Also, like, how would he? What do you think? He's going to set up a table?
In his
Cardiff, right this way.
In his in-person potato suit.
Yeah, so Cardiff said he was going to broadcast from John's son's graduation. And again, like we talked about earlier, John answered that literally and said, no, you're not. So John has been accusing, he's like, now I have carte blanche to do whatever I want to Cardiff. Because Cardiff was going to, again, didn't, and also wasn't going to, joked about it. But the reason you hear John snarling right there, he's like, this, you don't understand the things I deal with. He's like when Walter White started to lose his mind. I realized when I did that voice.
Or Batman.
It's all about me.
I liked it.
I was good at it. So John's like losing his mind over Cardiff joking. And you know what, John? If you want to say it wasn't a funny joke or like leave the kids at whatever, okay, great. Fine. It wasn't funny. It was a joke because it didn't happen that Cardiff was going to broadcast from your son's graduate. Also, let's say Cardiff did do that. What would happen? You know what I mean? Like, would they show up and arrest John's son? Like, what happens then?
I mean, he could be like he could have probably spun that into something if he actually showed up for sure.
I wouldn't like it. Here's the thing where I tried to defend John. Of course I wouldn't like that. I don't want people like my defense of John with the Kate Meany tapes is like, I'm sure if you taped all my fucking phone calls, you could find some that are embarrassing.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy to do to someone. Of course. But John makes you not empathize with him at all because he tries to get the FBI involved and have people arrested.
Anyone that listens to KMS heard me and Dave get secret.
You, Dave, me, and Clemmer, famously. That's what really made Kirk start to like Justin. Was Justin taped me and Clemmer, pontificating about what the Cheers podcast could be one day.
Right.
I'm like, they joke, but I think this thing could catch on. I didn't know I was being recorded. It's humiliating. What I can't do is call J. Edgar Hoover and say I've got an issue with this Justin Trudell. All right, let's hear him snarling and snorting.
Yeah, 100%.
I had to disrupt my child's fucking graduation. I will
Hold on, tried to. That would imply he made an attempt and failed.
Was tackled by police.
Yeah, did that happen? Was he there, John? Do you have any evidence of that? All we know about your kid's graduation is that you weren't allowed in and had to put on a fake mustache and sneak in because they don't want anything to do with you.
Right, that's truly why he's mad.
Of course. This is all John being mad about his personal life, whether it's not having a relationship with his kids, losing his wife. Not like he claimed he left his wife because you can't have pizza every day, which is a great way to talk about the mother of your children.
Oh, shit.
But he claimed he left his wife to, go sow his wild oats. Go fuck. Go spread his stuttering seed around Los Angeles. And now when you hear John's stories, they're tales of woe as far as romance goes. They're either made up or tales about horrible dates that he has. So John is frustrated that he's not getting the pussy that he used to get in the Stern days, I guess, that he has no career, and that he's been reduced to doing what we're doing. Like, John can list his credits all day and say how much longer his list on IMDb is than mine, but it's also never what I set out to do. I didn't set out to have a recording contract or be an actor or any of these things. So in terms of podcasting, me and John are actually equals, and you could argue that I'm above him. Certainly Carl and Shuli are above him. I would say Tukey and Cardiff are above John as far as just podcasting goes.
And they shouldn't be punching down.
That's true. That's wrong of all those guys and me to be bullying this poor man.
Yeah.
But that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's that he has all these credits, and yet it means nothing in terms of podcasting. He thinks you're supposed to be able to show a resume and be like, but don't you see? And I don't know why he always uses this. Don't you understand? Gilbert Gottfried was in my music video. Which I don't know why that's a credit, really.
It was a favor.
Yeah. But like, don't you understand? Gilbert Gottfried was in my music video. Therefore, I should automatically be a better podcaster than Lady K.
Right.
Or this blind fuck. Or the potato. Or the orange. I should be better than them because I have these credits. John thinks it works like a bank,
Right.
Or getting a loan on a house. Like, John has a credit score. So he should be able to go to the bank and get a loan, no problem. The problem is the bank doesn't give a fuck about your past performance. You've been in debt for the last 10 years. And that's all they're looking at.
If he shows up anywhere, any fucking where.
I understand that totally, John. I would probably
Clay Dabbler.
I would feel so much.
He's like, fuck, what am I doing here?
I know. I just tried to make a point that is pretty reasonable. I just tried to say don't get other YouTubers kicked off the internet, but whatever.
Anger. I'll retract it. Because if my son who's 14 was doing that shit and trolls were fucking with my son, I would want to rip their fucking heads off.
This is where Clay Dabbler just knows, like, I just have to say the things to get. Yes, if people were harassing your child on the internet, Of course you should be mad at that.
This is for sure a porn bomb in the making.
I would think so, probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Clay Dabbler might be a little smart. I'm not sure what his end game is, but it's something. His name's Clay Dabbler. I don't think he's John's friend.
Don't fuck with people's fucking kids.
Yeah, well said, Clay. But yeah, that's my frustration with the guys like John and Kevin is like the rooting for people's channels to get taken down. And John, you say this all the time. You threaten like, hey, if I go away, none of these channels exist. But I would say, John, if we all go away, you have literally nothing to talk about. That is what you do. What are you going to do? Talk politics, John? No one's fucking interested in it. No one gives a shit. Even if you have the great Richard Ojeda on, no one cares if you're talking politics.
Right.
What the reason they tune into your show is to find clips for Lady K and the shitware and to have you read the N-word in super chats. That's why people watch your show. All right.
Speaking of, we got quite a bit of those to get to.
Okay. Well, let's get caught up. I think I made my point with John.
Dominic, $5. I like Mike. Thumb up emoji. TYFNKYS goal.
I'm sure you just read some Nazi symbols or something. I don't know what that means, but
probably. I probably did.
Okay.
Chris Palmer,
Thanks.
$10. I wanted to ask the chat to start a rally, but in light of recent events, the word rally has a bad ring to it. Instead, I kindly request you all to donate to the goal.
Hey guys, let's start a rally. Ho-mo. Ho-mo.
Dominic, $2. Craigophile rally.
Yep.
Joe from Virginia, $2. Hashtag BMP for life. Congrats on 1,000 plus patrons. Keep it up.
Thank you, buddy. And I think that's one of the Havre de Grace 6.
That is. D-Band became a new member. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The Drip Lord Patrick Ford, $2.
Oh, wow. Star-studded chat today.
Morning Gearheads and Solophiles.
Solophiles.
Dang Lizard, €5. I'm sure this is gonna be fun for me. Because of ISO P Doe, we'll rename the Gregophiles in the innocent name of Craig Babies. Craig Babies, get your pipes ready to salute.
How do you feel about that, Craig Babies?
I don't like that at all, actually.
What?
It sounds...
All your Craig Babies are supporting you. I like that.
I hate it. Carol Dillon, €5. His behavior over the last 14 days has been disgusting. He said on Twitter that he didn't get Cardiff struck, but literally admits to it on his stream.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what John wants is to take all the credit and none of the blame. He wants to get the accolades from people who say, hey, that son of a bitch had to be taken care of. I wonder who did it. Oh, well, it was me, of course, your hero, the Duke of the Dabbleverse.
That's right.
But then when people point out like, hey, John, that's actually a pretty shitty thing to do. When people make points that get through to him.
Yep.
He's like, well, you don't understand. I didn't do it. And both of those, of course, could be true.
That's right.
Of course, John, of course you could have both done it and not done it. That makes perfect sense.
Dennis in East Boston, $5. You, Justin, and Kelly on KMS. Craig back-to-back Blind Mike Project shows, and Mutt is an absolute moron. All is right in the world of two great shows again.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I want to talk about Mutt, but I just figured there was no KMS Friday, so I assume it'll be talked about when I'm in on Tuesday.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, the whole Unnamed show, as it did everyone who watched, it gripped me. It frustrated me as a guy who both likes Mutt and like as a guy who has regrets about like I was lazy in my internship. I got complacent, and Portnoy said something that really spoke to me with the Brandon Walker thing.
Yes,
where it's like I got to a point where I was like I was hired as a joke. Why would I do any work? You know,
right?
Like I didn't take it as seriously as I should have. And the Brandon Walker speech that he gave, I was like, oh wow, like that got my juices flowing. I was like, all right, here's where Mutt's gonna leap at the opportunity.
That was the Brady to Robert Kraft speech.
Yes, yeah, the best decision this organization ever made.
Right.
And Mutt was just like, nah, no thanks.
That
And
was-
that's what was frustrating. Like, I think Mutt thinks everyone's like shitting on him. It's like people that are rooting for him.
it hurt my soul so much.
It was tough. But that, I mean, Kirk warned us, you know? So,
He called that to the T.
yeah, he really did.
Carl's Frosted Tips, $2. Aaron is worried about his hole, not the goal. CWO.
Yeah, well, it's all inclusive now. It's all one. We'll get to the goal in a moment.
Samantha, 10 somethings. I don't know what that is.
Thank you, Samantha.
In terms of internet lol cows, Aaron is a supernova. It will be a while till we get another lick of something even remotely as prolific as the slow burning, fascinating dismay of the toe. God bless.
I didn't realize we were going to spend that long on John because we have a lot of Aaron to get through.
We have a ton of Aaron.
God damn it. All right.
Radish, €1, I think, sent a super sticker.
Thank you, buddy.
Carl's Frosted Tips. John is a crunt. No family or friend. It's sad.
Yeah, that's John. If you don't know, that's John's word. Apparently thinks you can't say cunt. So he says crunt.
Mm,
And then no harm, no foul.
it's probably actually right. We got hit for that 2 hours into a show the other day.
That's true. Well, he's not doing it for YouTube. He's doing it so no one can call him sexist. Yeah.
Chico's bail bonds, $2. This is not me. Why isn't it Blind Mike and Craig show? # selfish.
Wow. Well, as you know, if you're an original Blind Mike Project listener,
Mhm.
Craig invented the Blind Mike Project.
I did.
That's how he was brought on stage.
I'll see if I can find that. I might still have that.
The what was it? The creator of the Blind Mike Project,
Yep.
Chris Oconee.
Chris Oconee. I
Those
might
are
have
good times.
I might have that somewhere.
That's okay.
Box Eating Dad, $2. Ask Craig about the picture of my member he has.
Do you have that?
I do.
And how old is he?
He is 27,
Okay,
I
just
think.
making sure.
Yeah. Matt and I were at a wedding over the weekend, and I sent a picture to the VGS.
Of your
chat.
penis?
No, just us in suits. And his response was a picture of him pissing into a toilet, but didn't crop it correctly.
Oh boy.
It was very funny.
Now, when you get arrested, you can say, I deleted it right away.
I didn't delete it. He was of age.
Okay. Very progressive over there at verygoodshow.org.
That's right. CJ Specs, $2. What a buffoon. The school board cast it anyways.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
Did they live stream Stuttering John's kids?
Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say. I don't know that to be true, but I was like, it's probably broadcast, like on the internet or something.
Probably. Since COVID, they do that with everything.
Right. Yeah. That was the other point I was gonna make. But yes, good point, CJ.
Tickle Me Tukey, $2. Password is ... OJ sent me.
Well, thank you, OJ. I appreciate that.
2 more. Dawn Fried Chicken, $5. Hey Craig, thanks for
Go ahead.
Hey Craig, thanks for babysitting my daughter, but what's with all the bruises
You
on
care
her-
to address that?
on her neck? She said you guys were wrestling.
Go ahead. Answer the man.
I've never babysat.
Never babysat.
Never babysat.
That sounds suspicious. He just concocted this story, this guy?
He just made that up.
I don't believe it.
Dang Lizard, €5. Last one. I'm not in danger, Clay. I am the danger.
I am the one who knocks.
A guy opens his browser and gets doxxed, and you think of me. No, I am the one who doxes.
Oh, that's very funny. John's live streaming him trying to catch a fly.
Yeah. It's in here somewhere.
Will ruin the entire batch.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.